Hello, Zach, it's Grandpa again, and I've got another story for you. And this time, I think this is your favourite book, Zog the Dragon. So let's tell the tale about Zog the Dragon. Madam Dragon had a school for dragons, and she said, I'm going to teach you things each year, and you'll have to learn them, and at the end, whoever learns them the best will get a gold star. And Zog was the biggest dragon of all, and he said, Oh, I want to do that. I want to get a gold star. So all the dragons in year one had to learn how to fly. And Madam Dragon flew up in the sky and said, Come on, fly higher and fly straight. And then she said, Okay, now I've shown you what to do, you'll have to practice on your own. So Zog went off to practice, and he was flying through the sky, and he soared and swooped, and then he turned over and looped the loop. And then what did he do, Zach? He crashed, that's right. And where did he crash? Into the tree. That's right. On his back, his head was very sore. And he's lying down by the tree when a little girl came along. Oh, don't cry, Zog, she said. Here, I'll put a nice sticky plaster on your head, and that will make you feel better. What a good idea, said Zog, and he flew away, and you could see the plaster on his nose as he flew through the. A year went by, and in year two all the dragons had to learn how to roar. Come on, said Madam Dragon, roar! Louder! Louder! And then she said, Okay, now I've shown you how to roar. You can practice on your own, and then you'll be champion roarers. So Zog went off to practice, and he roared louder and louder, and he kept it up for hours on end, and then his throat grew hoarse and he couldn't roar any more. All he could do was go, ah, 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 but he couldn't roar properly. So he sat down again and his throat was very sore. But a little girl came by again and she said, Oh dear, Zog, maybe I could give you a peppermint to suck, and that will make your throat all better, and then you'll be able to roar again. What a good idea, said Zog. And he flew away, and he was breathing out, and the little girl could smell the peppermint as he flew through the sky. And she waved to him, Bye-bye, Zog, see you later. And then in year four, the dragons were learning. What were they learning, do you think? They were learning how to capture a princess. Now that you've been shown, he said, you can go and catch your princess because you can roar and you can breathe fire and you can fly in the sky, and that means you're very grown up if you can do this. So Zog went off to practice capturing a princess, but he couldn't manage. Every time he climbed up, the man was trying to hit him on the nose with a spear, and another man was throwing water on him, and he couldn't get the princess out of the tower. And people were trying to stop him doing it. And if you look right at the bottom, Zach, the bear was biting on Zog's tail. Oh, that'd be very sore. And Zog said, Oh dear, I'm tired. I'm no good at this, he said. I'll never win a golden star, he said, never ever. But then he saw the girl. Perhaps, she said, you'd like to capture me. I'm Princess Pearl. Well, that's a good idea, said Zog. So Princess Pearl went on Zog's back, and they flew away through the sky. She was holding her bag. Well, said Madam Dragon, our first princess so far. Well done, Zog. You're the first dragon to win a golden star. And Zog was standing with the princess and her bag. And Zog was very proud of his star, and you can see the star on his chest. And Pearl, she felt good as well because she'd helped Zog. And then she went to help the other dragons. And if they were unwell, she took their temperature and then she helped them. If they fell down like the one at the bottom there, she's putting a bandage on his leg because he's fallen out of the tree. And then, in year 5, the dragons had to learn to fight. Right, said Madam Dragon, you've got to be very good fighters. Oh, look, she said, here comes a real live knight. And the knight charged up on his horse and he said, I'm Gadabout the Great. He says, I've come to rescue Princess Pearl. Oh, Zag breathed fire and he beat his wings. He says, no, you can't rescue her. He says, she's mine. Oh, no, she's not, said the knight. And he waved his sword at Zog. And all the other dragons crowded round to watch them. So who was going to win the fight? Was it going to be Sir Gadabout with his sword, or was it going to be Zog, who was breathing out fire? Then Princess Pearl stepped forward and said, stop, you silly chumps. The world's already full of cuts and burns and bumps. You don't have to rescue me. I'm not going to go back to being a princess. I want to be a doctor and travel here and there, listening to people's chests and then giving them my care as a doctor. Well, me too, said the knight. That's what I want to do. I don't want to fight all the time. I want to wear a stethoscope to listen to people's chests. Perhaps, Princess, you'll train me as a doctor. And Pearl said, of course I will. I don't see how the two of us could fit onto your horse, though. That's going to be a real problem. Well, said Zog, flying doctors, I'd love to join the crew. Why don't you both come on my back and I'll be your ambulance and I can carry you all everywhere you want to go. Bravo, said Madam Dragon. That's a great idea, Zog. And all the year 5 dragons all cheered, saying, well done, Zog. Well done, Zog. Then Madam Dragon said to the horse, well, I hope you'll stay and you can be our pet and we can feed you lots of hay. That's a good idea, said Zog. Then up he flew with the 2 doctors on his back, and he flew away and they went to cure all the people. And that's the end of the story.